מסכת בוב מציע דף נ"ד עמוד בייס, בעזרת השם נעשה ונצליח. היינו לא עומדים לנשמע סוף מאיר מנחם בן עקיבא, אין יראי שבס בכל יצחק. רוס בשלום סור בס מוישה לרפואס, אביב בס דבר משה רבי נחמה, דוד בן תמה, בסורך שורחו לישראל. We are in daf nun daled umid baiz. And as you can see in your charts, and I'll also show you in this chart, we're going to see later on in the Mishnah, not today, there are 5 times in the Torah when a person has to pay an extra chomesh. As far as I know, all of them are really not a chomesh. It's a chomesh melagav, which means a fourth, not a fifth. There are 5 cases: gezer, meila, terumah, sheni, and hekdesh. Some of them we know, some of them may be less. Yeah, and they're all to do with chomesh. Yeah. Okay, all 5, and we're going to discuss today what happens when the chomesh itself becomes the issue. Do we add another chomesh over the first chomesh? I'll explain everything Be'ezras Hashem. You know, I don't know if to start with the chart. Let's start with the money. You can have a look at the chart. And I want to thank Reb Tzvi Rosen for always printing the stuff so nicely. Thank you very much. Yishar Koach. Brocha v'atzlocha. Now, let's start the Gemara, and then we'll follow it with the chart. Without the chart, let's see. Amar Rove, says Rove. It's very important also to carefully examine the psukim. The psukim over here are going to be analyzed and broken down to the letter. So it's important to follow the psukim of each one of the. By the way, the Gemara will only discuss 4 of the 5 items. Yeah, the Rishonim have an argument about the 5th one. Amar Rove. Gabi Gezel Ksiv. Regarding Gezel, it says as follows: V'chamishisov Yosef Olav, which means Chamishisov, not Chamishisoy, Yosef Olav. When a person steals money, when does he have to pay an extra 5th? I want to take a break, and you tell me. Anybody who stole pays a 5th extra? Lied, just lied, and what kind of lie? Nishba l'sheker, she got the trophy, and then he was moide. He lied, nishba, he nishba that he, yeah, by the way, there are 5 different cases also there of theft. Let's say you deposited money by me and I deny, and there's a real chefetz over here that belongs to you, and I lie, and I swear a false oath, and afterwards I'm moide. If your phone that you gave me is worth 20, or I don't know, 20, 100, whatever, worth 20, then I lie, and then I admit, how much do I have to give you back? 20 plus, which is really 25. Yeah, 5th, which is 25. That's true. Yeah. Nachon. Okay, very nice. Continues the Gemara. A quarter. I say it all the time, but I still want to keep both. I know it's a quarter. The Chamishisav Yosef Olav, Chamishisav is Loshen Rabim. Mashma, there's more than one chomesh. How come? Vitnan. It says in the Mishnah, Nosan lo yisakeren, v'nishba lo chomesh. What happens if the following case happened? Listen to this. Your item was worth 20, right? I admitted and I cried that I lied. Oh, it's true, really, oi, oi, oi. And then I give you the 20. And then you ask, excuse me, you also owe me 5, which is a chomesh. Then I lie about the 5. I lie about the 5, I didn't properly do teshuva shalema. And what do I say? Ma pitom. I gave you already the 5. No, you didn't. Yes, I did. I swear to Hashem with an open Sefer Torah. Then what happens? Then I admit. Then the 5, listen to my key sentence here, the 5 that up until now was marginal, now becomes the star of the show. Now that becomes the topic, yeah, the bone of contention, right? In other words, the 5 which was owed as an extra, as a 5th, is what I'm lying about. The 20 I gave you, the 5 I lie about. What's going to happen now? The 5th itself, 5 over 5, that's 1.25. Right? Yeah, so I have to give you, please. Yeah, 5. Now you have to give me 5. You have to give me what? 6.25. You know what? I gave you 5, and the 125 I lied about. Get it? There's no end to the Yetzer Hara. That chomesh of the chomesh I now lie about that I gave you. Now I still have to give you a 5th of 125, which I'm sure you know how much that is. I don't. You have to give it a quarter, of 125. Yeah? Until the item becomes less than shava prutah. Yeah, it's like an almost endless thing. Always the 5th, which was a marginal thing, becomes essential, because that's what I'm lying about. I admit about. chomesh the chomesh. That's the topic of today's parak, and that applies to all 5 cases. Here, I'll show our viewers. All 5 cases, extra chomesh, that's the empty space. On purpose, it's empty, because that we'll discover today. Do we or don't we give a chomesh over a chomesh? That's today's topic. That's I called it 5 times 5. It's not really 5 times 5. It's 5 of the 5. Maybe, 5 divided by 5. Let's see just what the Gemara has to say. So again, the Tnan, second line, Nosan lo is the Keren. The Keren was given after much lying and admitting and chulei. V'nishba lo yeh chomesh. Then he was nishba sheker. He lied about the chomesh. In our case, how much is that? That's a quarter, which is the 5. Arezi moisif chomesh al chomesh. Yeah, he adds a chomesh over the chomesh, 1.25, 1.25. And she smaita keren pochas mishve prutah. Until the keren becomes what? Until the item that we argue about becomes less than shve prutah. Because by the way, the chomesh every time turns into the keren, right? That's what I told you. The marginal becomes the main thing because I paid you the main thing. I argue about the VAT. I argue about the fifth, which is a quarter really, and then now that becomes the item. That becomes the issue. And in that case, how much do I have to give you? Over 555 every time. So I have to give a quarter over the quarter of the quarter every time when I lie again. Now, that is only true, and this is important to know, and you have it in the chart also, because it says v'chamishi sov. Chamishi sov, for those of us who are not so proficient in Hebrew, chamishi sov means plural. It's 5th plural. Yeah? Therefore, it's one after the other, as long as you're not doing tshuva and you lie again and again and again. Every time you lie about the chomesh, that becomes the keren, which requires in its turn its own chomesh. That's simple, and that's about gezel. If you want to do it really cool, if you don't feel like school children, you can now fill in the blank space yourself. And the chart that says gezel, the checker of gezel, extra chomesh, the answer should be yes, there is extra chomesh. There's extra chomesh to no end, because it says v'chamishi sov. Okay, so the first empty blank space here is yes, there is extra chomesh. I didn't bring pens or pencils yet, but that's the answer. That stays till the end of the sugya. Ellen wants to tell me something. I have the feeling.
You add a 5th.
Yeah. Besides,
I was good at maths at school. I'm
Multiplying by a 5th.
weiter. Don't remind me of my childhood traumas. Math class. Don't take me there. Weiter. Okay. Gabi Terumah. Next in line is Terumah. I know that I'm skipping Meila on purpose, and we go to the third one, to Terumah. What's the story with Terumah? The Terumah, let's look at the chart. A person ate or drank or even smeared, as we'll see, a kohen's Terumah by mistake, meaning even with or without permission, by the way. This is not about Geneva with Kefel. Leave that alone. That was yesterday. We're talking about a person like me and you, Israel. We go to Yaakov's house, and he's a kohen, and we eat the Terumah not knowing that it's Terumah. Had it been b'mezid, since it's shoger, what do I have to do? Now, what I have to do is I must pay back with what? With money? No, with fruit. So let's say I took from Yaakov by mistake 20 grapes or 20 shekels worth of grapes, and I ate them all up. Was that Terumah? Then what? Then, you had the coffee like 2 hours after the meat. You want to throw up? Sorry. Yeah, so in this case, you ate the Terumah of a kohen. You now have to give Yaakov back 20 shekels worth of grapes. No, you have to give 20 and another 5 shekels worth of grapes or other fruit. Now, interestingly, and I didn't tell you yesterday, those fruit, become Terumah. Those fruit, once I hand them to the kohen, although the regular fruit which were already metukan, those fruit were not Terumah. The fruit were gemaiser, were kosher, ready to eat, but that's store, and then I give them to Yaakov back. Once I give them back to him, the magic wand of halacha makes them Terumah all 25. Now you know what the story is. What happened if I by mistake ate the 20 I gave you, the 5, let's say there were 2 piles, 20 shekels worth of grapes and 5 shekels worth of grapes. These are red and these are green. Let's say, I'm saying, Now, but mistakenly, I repeated my foolish mistake and ate the 5. The chomesh I ate from what I already paid once. Here again comes the same question. Do we say that now I have to give Yaakov 5 plus 1.25 or just 5? Do we apply chomesh to a chomesh, however you call it in British English, or we don't? That's the same question with another application. Let's see. No, 1/4 of 5. 5 divided to 4 is 1/4. A chomesh of, not of a grape, a chomesh of the 5 shekels worth of grape. The 5 shekel grapes were chomesh on the 20, and I ate them. So now again, what was marginal now became the center of attention. Now I ate the chomesh itself. Do I now have to give you 5 plus 1/4 as a chomesh over the chomesh? Over is happier for you. Chomesh over the chomesh. Okay? Yeah, that's a question. Let's see what the Gemara has to say. Gabi Terumah ksiv. It says about Terumah, and now the pasuk has different words. It says about Terumah, Baruch Hashem, I lost the place. Gabi Terumah ksiv. Ish ki yochel kodesh bishgogo. Please listen carefully to the words. When a man eats kodesh bishgogo, mistakenly, the yosaf chamishisoi olav. Interesting. Chamishisoi is singular or plural? Singular. Oh. Although the letter vav indicates adding more, the yosaf. And so maybe this pasuk is telling me, and soon we're going to see how later on, that even by Terumah, because it says vav hachibur, and vav indicates addition, more, and therefore says the Mishnah, the Tnan, because there is some plural there in the pasuk, it says, one who eats Terumah b'shoigeg, mishalem keren v'chomesh, right? That's the basic halacha. That's the first time offense. I ate 20 shekels worth of yummy grapes from Yaakov the Kohen. Oy vavoy, how much do I have to pay back in fruit? 20 plus 5. Oh, that's what's worth, by the way, in the Kohanim store. In the Israeli store, it's worth more. That's besides the point. Echad oichel, whether I eat it, vechad shoise, or I drink it. Let's say it was wine or grape juice. Vechad sach, or even if I smeared it on my body. Let's say it was oil and I smeared it on my body. Okay, some alternative, whatever, massage, and I smear it on my body, which means Rashi explains that really what it says in the Torah is only about achila. But the Gemara in Yoma Daf Ein Vav, I think Amud says that drinking is part of eating, like on Yom Kippur, because it says in the Torah somewhere you eat and then it says wine. What do you mean you eat wine? So drinking is halachically like eating, like for Yom Kippur, and so here, and smearing is like drinking. It says v'tov v'keshemen b'kirboy. Yeah, it comes out like the keshemen b'atzmoisov. It says that when you drink and you smear and it gets absorbed in the pores of your body, that's like drinking. In any event, however, in English there's one nice word for that: consume. You consumed the item in a physical way; it entered your body either by eating, drinking, or by smearing, as opposed to burning. If I took Yaakov's shemen zayis zach of Terumah and used it for my Shabbos candles or stam for candles or something, then I don't have to pay the chomesh. Okay, that's Gzeras HaKosu. So now, echad Terumah Torah, echad Terumah Tmeya. Even if I used the Terumah Tmeya, right, which I ate, that's double trouble. But at the end of the day, mishalem chomesh. So far, so good. I ate the chomesh. You want to give a paper to Leon, please? Yeah. Chomesh. You give chomesh, okay? Meaning the first time offense, I have to give a quarter, really? And listen to the punchline. The chumsha. Also 5th over the 5th. Yeah? 5th, you have? You have a 5th of, I have it in the computer, so I'm fine. The chumsha, which means what? Same thing as we said before. If I ate now the grapes that became Terumah because of my payment, which ones? Not the 20, at the smaller cluster of 5 shekel, how much do I have to pay now? Quarter of that to 125. Now how much do I have to give? Let's say I gave him 5 plus 125, 625. The 1.25 I ate, again I have to give him what? A chomesh of the chomesh of the chomesh, 3 times over. Why? Because Lamaisa, as long as it's shove prutah, the Torah says the letter vav, the yosaf, that is to tell me that you add chomesh every time you repeat the offense and every time it's a smaller amount. So now, okay. Now the next in line will be Meiser Sheni, our friend. That's 4th in line. Yeah, I'm listening. Oh, so up to Shava Pruta. Once the item is less than Shava Pruta, halacha very, very consistently ignores less than Shava Pruta. Of course, you're not allowed to steal less than Shava Pruta, in Lamechila, but in Beis Din or in real halacha, the less than Shava Pruta is not looked at. And therefore, yeah, that's when it finishes. When the grape that I ate was less than shre prutah, then nothing. I don't have to give chomesh. Nothing. What happens? Chomesh for sure not. Now, Meiser Sheni, we all know about Meiser Sheni. He's our friend, right? Meiser Sheni, that's the fourth line in the chart. You can look. If you want to transfer the Kedusha to money, which is called in one word pidyon, redeeming, then you have to add a chomesh, right? You're not doing it, it's not no offense, but you have to give the, by the way, the first two Gezel and Me'ilah, there's a korban. In the other ones, there's no korban. But Meiser Sheni, if it's my own Meiser, I want to, what do I say? I want to give over the poida over the money, I have to add a chomesh, which is really a quarter. Seder. Says the Gemara. What does it say about Meiser Sheni? Gabe Meiser Sheni Tnan. Yeah. Viru Gabe Meiser. On the other hand, Meiser, when it comes to Meiser, the line starts with the word loy. We're about to think more than 10 lines from the top of the page. Loy michtav ktiv. It doesn't say anywhere in the Torah, when it comes to Meiser, it doesn't say anywhere in the Torah any extra word. Not chamishisov and not the, nothing. What does it say in the Torah about Meiser? Here, I have it here. Vimgol igal ish mi ma'asroi chamishisoi. Nothing. Mi ma'asroi chamishisoi. It's all singular. And no extras and no nothing. That indicates what? That you don't give chomesh over chomesh. Soon we'll see the example. Veloy mitnatana. It doesn't say anything about it in the Mishnah that you give extra. Veloy ibui bailan. It's not even a question that we have. Meaning, in short, you can fill in the charts if you want yourselves. When it comes to the checker, to the empty space of what? Meiser Sheni, there is no chomesh over chomesh. So let's give an example. Yeah, Rashi's example is not 1,000,000% clear to Mechavur Sanai, but it looks like, I assume, yeah, I don't know. Again, we saw this debate how many times you can be pointed the Meiser Sheni. Let's say it's unlimited, Nagid, and I'm in Ramat Bet Shemesh, and I want to transfer my what? Lemons again? Okay. I want to let's make it mango a bit sweeter. Yeah, I want to transfer the kedusha of my Meiser Sheni mango over what? 20 shekel coin? No, the mango is worth 20, so the matbaya should be 5. Very nice. Now let's say, for the sake of clarity, there are 2 coins, just to make it clear. Of course, it doesn't have to be that way. There's a 20 shekel coin and a 5 shekel coin, right? Now I want to transfer that, yeah, into other money. Okay, I want to transfer that into, or even the entire amount, to other money. Yeah, I want to change from dollars to shekels. I don't know, one more convenient to go to Yerushalayim, smaller coins, bigger coins. Then do I now have again to add over 25? Do I have to now add how much would be the whole thing? How much is 25 plus a quarter of all 25 together? They have to be machshiv the 25 plus a quarter of 25, or do I say no? The 20 I have to add a quarter to, which means another 5, but the 5 I don't have to add the 1 1/4 to. Yes, we don't have to add the chomesh of the chomesh in Meiser. So that's the first kid in class now. That's the first case where we do put a very quick end to the chomesh, endless chain reaction. By Meiser Sheni, it finishes right after the first time. The first time I'm poida, it's an extra chomesh. But the second time I'm poida, if I'm poida the keren and chomesh over another coin, let's say, then no. Then we don't the Torah doesn't ask for another chomesh bichlal. No, actually, I'm wrong. We don't even ask for. Wait a second. Now I'm confused. In other words, now I am confused because I don't know. Yeah, what I'm trying to say is, I think if the Pashup Shad is the second time when I have 25 coin plus the chomesh, then I don't think chomesh is given at all. Not over the 20, not over the 5. The choira. Not like I said before. Just no extra chomesh. Chomesh finishes the first time and that's it. I think so. I'm not 100% sure. I'm being honest with you. The case was a bit unclear to us as it is. Rashi is being very short over here, but l'chayra, the Pashup Shad of the words of the Gemara, Hashem Yazo, I hope I'm not telling you a mistake. Kach nire. In other words, chomesh was the first time. Instead of 20, which is the mango, it's 25 of the coin, and that's it. If I now want to redeem the 25 to another coin, that will stay 25. Kach nire li. There's a problem also. The Rambam doesn't say anything about it. The Rambam is a halacha sefer for these things. He doesn't relate to it. It doesn't say anything here because you just don't give the chomesh. So I assume the Rambam will tell me that, like, I'm right. In other words, there's no chomesh mentioned. The Rambam doesn't say anything to pashtus, that's it. The first time there's chomesh, second time no chomesh whatsoever. Why? Important to remember, because it says not the Yosef chamishi soy oi one chamishis is chamishis and no extra vovs. That is one chomesh. The Torah's requirement finishes one time. Yeah, that's it. How many times a day do you have to, I don't know, say Birkas HaShachar? Once. Some things you only do once in a lifetime. Yeah. How many times are you born? Do you die? One time. No. Where? Terumah? How do you know? You're not here. Very good. Did you hear me before? Very good. Wow. I'm impressed. I said, be medaik every letter. I meant letter. Very good. The Terumah, you almost threw me off my feet. Very good. By Terumah, the vav of the Terumah, and we're going to have a question, how does that vav work? But that vav somehow, there are two ways to explain it, indicates addition. The Pashup Pshat, and means what? And what? A chomesh and another chomesh, another chomesh. Very good, very quick. Now comes the question. So far, let's leave Me'ila alone, and we'll talk about it. So far, what did we see? When it comes to theft with Shavua and everything in the Korban, there's chomesh over chomesh over chomesh. As long as the thief wasn't choser b'tshuva, he always tries to make. Some people are like that, right? Pathological liars. So he always lies about the small amount, and the small amount becomes the center. You always pay chomesh over chomesh over chomesh. I give an example of 20. Can you imagine if it's 2 million? How many times there's chomesh over there until you go down to prutah? Many. Now, what's the second case? We had also where you have chomesh that's by Terumah, right? If I eat the chomesh of the paid Terumah from the Terumah that I, as an Israel, ate by mistake, I have to give chomesh over chomesh. The third case is an exception. That's meiser. By meiser, there's a one-time chomesh, and that's it. Now comes a question, and that's hekdesh. Go to the chart if you want. The last but not least on the chart, last but not least in the list, is the hekdesh. What's hekdesh? Same thing as we saw it yesterday. Hekdesh is a very good friend of Meiser Sheni. That's why I put them in that order. If you can see it, the chart has a very logical order. Gezel and Me'ila are the bad boys. Terumah is a mistake. And Meiser Sheni and Hekdesh are good people. They donated, or they have Meiser, and they want to redeem back their own thing. What's Hekdesh? I donated. What did I donate for Hekdesh? To Hekdesh, my gold watch worth 20,000, whatever. Now I'm the one who wants to get my gold watch back. So how much do I have to give instead of 20? I have to give 25,000. Now, let's say now I want to redeem the 5, yeah, to make it simpler. Now that would work better in two different, yeah. I had my gold watch, 20,000 maybe worth. Now I redeem it. How much do I have to give Hekdesh? 25, right? Let's say I gave 2 items, 120, 15. And now now they belong to Hekdesh. And my gold watch is redeemed, and I can wear it, and I can take it to toilet, I can do whatever I want. It's whole. And now, instead, Hekdesh has instead of that 2 other items which are okay. Which items I cannot give Hekdesh in return? Look down at the floor, karka, right? Or avodim. But besides karka and avodim, I can redeem my original Hekdesh for any other item, even toys from China, if they're worth more than shova prutah, which they don't. So now, yeah. So now I gave 2 watches, 120, nice watch, and 15, a plastic watch, right? I want to redeem the 5. I'm focusing now on the 5, which was a chomesh of the original pidyon. Of course, the question is, do I now give Hekdesh 5, or do I give 5, or do I give 6.25? Right? Same question. Chomesh over chomesh, and does that train ever end? That's a question. Here, the Gemara is uncertain and not sure which camp does it belong to. Is it like the Gezel and Terumah, or is it like Meiser, and you don't have to give a second chomesh? That's a question, Baruch Hashem, about the Hekdesh. Now, why is there a question there? It's very technical. I'm not trying to dampen down your very free-thinking spirit, but it's not lomdas here. It's just words. The yes or no regarding Hekdesh is very technical in the words of the psukim. What? Let's see. Let's see. The case. Gas, please. Yeah. Huh? Okay. Let's see. So, let's see. Let's see it inside and everything will be clear. It says about Hekdesh, the Ima Makdi Shigalas Beisoi, Ve Yosaf, it says Ve Yosaf, Chamishis Kesef Erkecho. It says Vov, Ve Yosaf, Chamishis, singular. Ve Yosaf Chamishis Kesef Erkecho, the money of your value. Vetnan, it says in the Mishnah, a person who's poided the Hekdesh, Moisif chomesh, it says very simple. You're the first case, don't get confused. I donated the 20,000 shekel, what's his name, watch. I give back. If I want to redeem it, get it back. What? Then I have to give back 25. I have to give 25 to redeem it back. All very nice. Chumsha comments the Gemara over the Mishnah. Chumsha tnan. It says first chomesh you give. Chumsha the chumsha loitnan. It doesn't say anything about the extra second chomesh, which doesn't mean that it's not there. It leaves us with a question mark. And the Gemara asks, what shall we do? What shall we say about Hekdesh? On one hand, you can say, like everybody here says, Gabe Terumah ksiv ve'yosaf, Gabe kodesh nami ksiv ve'yosaf. I want to tell you, it's a very confusing Gemara. It's not Gzera Shava. No. Even we made the mistake. Ve'yosaf is logic, says Rashi. What's ve in Hebrew? I think ve means end. No? All right. Yeah, my Ulpan teacher was right. So if it says ve'yosaf, the same way you learned by Terumah, ve'yosaf means end, no, to no end with an E. So too, same word as you guys are all saying, right? Same word over here by Kodesh. It says ve'yosaf. The Kodesh too. My gold watch, my plastic watch, my Chinese watch, every time I'll have to add chomesh. On the other hand, listen to this. Oidilma, or maybe you misunderstood what the Vav does over here. And that's a concept which I don't know if you know. It says, Gabe Terumah ksiv ve'yosaf. You know what the Vav of ve'yosaf indicates addition? Not because it means end, Vav ha'chibur, but because, listen to this, there's another rule in all these like rules, how we shouldn't say manipulate, how we learn the map of the psukim. There are Shavakal, V'chomer, the 13 meters. There are many more than 13, by the way. One of them is you can sometimes take a letter from a word and you mamish do like in Word, document, you cut and paste. You move the letter from its place, and according to Chazal's Messiah, you can place it in another place at the end of another word. And that's what they're doing here. Look what's going on over here. If you take the vav of ve'yosaf, which is redundant, what do you have to tell me? End. What does it say in Terumah? In Terumah it says chamishi soy. So if you take the vav and add it chamishi sov, two vavs, havele chamishi sov. That's why it's plural. Chamishi soy, which is singular, plus another vav, it's a chamishi sov. That's in Hebrew. There are two vavs, that's vav, the, right? The end is vav together. It's plural. However, listen, it's very dark. You have to listen carefully. Gabe Hekdesh, on the other hand, that's not going to work. You know why? Because Gabe Hekdesh ksiv ve'yosaf chamishis. The original word of Hekdesh is chamishis. So even afal gab de chishokat le'levav de ve'yosaf, even if you play the same trick here, and you take the vav of the Yosaf, the shadit le al chamishis, do it in your minds, not on the whiteboard. The word chamishis is singular, and the word let's take the vav, cut it, and paste it on chamishis. What will you have? You'll have chamishisoy, still singular. 1 second. Soif. At the end of the day, sorry. Havele chamishisoy. Ay. Therefore, let me repeat. Let me review. It says in the Torah, either the Yosaf of Terumah means end, forever. We'll never get rid of that chomesh, a piece of dirt in your hand. It's always again and again. And that would apply to both Hekdesh and Terumah, like you all thought. Or maybe no. Maybe by Terumah, we take the Vav and add it to Chamishi Soy, make it to Chamishi Sov. And that is plural. That trick will not happen by Hekdesh. Why? Because by Hekdesh is chamishis. So even if you add the vav to chamishis, it becomes chamishisoy. To translate to English, instead of fifth, it will be his fifth, but still 1/5. And therefore we have a suffix. As I said, it's a technical suffix, no much lomdus over here. And therefore we remain in the dark regarding what happens to the extra chamishis of the hekdesh. Do we add hekdesh to the plastic watch of 5 to the extra, or don't we add chamishis to it? That stays in the question for now. We'll answer it, but that's now. You have questions? I'm sorry, and thank you for your patience. Me'ila, I didn't ignore it. The Gemara ignores Me'ila. It's in the chart. Ignore it, you won't believe it. Rashi sounds like by Me'ila, the pasuk of Me'ila, it says there, Ve'es chamishisoy Yosef olov. So Rashi learns that, of course, it says chamishisoy means it doesn't indicate en Yosefo. I don't know why. It says vov, I guess. But the Rambam says by Me'ila, for sure, you do add. Rambam says by Me'ila, yeah, you add the fifth quarter, and Rashi's mashma that you don't. So that's machlokes Rishonim, but the Gemara doesn't talk about it because each Rishon probably said that it's so obvious to the Gemara, like he's way. So let's leave Me'ila alone because the Gemara doesn't talk about it. The Rishonim seem to be discussing it. So I'm going to hear your questions first. I don't know who was first. I think Leon. So now, frag the Gemara. Now now we're going to add another item thrown into the story. Okay. You're asking me a question about Hekdesh's second time. Is there a second chomesh over the second chomesh? Yeah. So v'tepukle, you can anyhow get out of it. You can come from a different place and say Davale Hekdesh Sheni. Listen to this. Hekdesh Sheni. What did it tell you? The first Hekdesh was a nice gold watch, 25,000, right? I redeemed it. For let's say 2 watches, one silver for 20 and one plastic for 5. Okay. That's Hekdesh Sheni. It's a second Hekdesh. It's called matpis. It's called not lahakdish, but lehatpis. In other words, the first Hekdesh is gone. The first Hekdesh was when I said the first time in my life, let's say, or the first time for this item, the gold watch is Hekdesh. The redeeming is called hatposa. In other words, one is out and I matpis with tough. I'm applying, I'm transferring it to the new item that's hatposa. And it says, the Omar B'Shua ben Levi, a hekdesh rishon moisif chomesh. On first hekdesh you add chomesh. Al hekdesh sheni and moisif chomesh. Look at that. Rabbi Shimon Levi says outright, and he's going to have his source later on, that hekdesh sheni has no chomesh. B'chlal, there is no chomesh. So that's mefurash. Here you are. Your question is anyhow irrelevant. Outright mefurash that if the 20 gold watch is going to become now 25, and that's the end of the story. Right? The second one has no chomesh. No. So Mimela, here's your answer before you even started. Answers the Gemara, genius answer, which will explain to you I got confused before. The confusion now will be explained. Omar le Rav Papi le Ravina, a cool answer from left field. Omar le Papi le Ravina, hachi Omar Rava. This is what Rava explained on Rabbi Shua ben Levi. Chomesh tetchilas hekdesh dami. Which means, what did you just tell me, Rabbi? You told me once something was mukdash, first time there's chomesh, second time there's no chomesh. Okay, well, so I had the 21 that morphed into what being 25. Okay, and you say, oh, it's the second time. Second time there's no chomesh anymore. End of story. No, it's the first time of the chomesh. That 20 makes its second appearance. Yeah, I had 120 gold watch, right? Made into 20 and then 5. Let's divide it to 2 watches. Now you'll appreciate my example. The watch of 20 is really a repetition of the first one of 20. The watch of 5, that's his first appearance. That's not called second time. It's his chomesh's first time. It's the first time that I have chomesh. The second time of the whole process is only the first time of chomesh. You only give chomesh, no. You only give chomesh when it is the second time, but that's first for chomesh, and therefore my question is super valid. And now my question is there chomesh, which means very interesting, which means, of course, and that's the numbers again. How much is the question? We're not dealing now. That was my confusion before about Maisa, but now it's good confusion. The Gemara is confused together with me. I had a 20 shekel watch, 20,000, whatever. How much do I have to give now? 25. Now, 20 and 5. The 20, which is the second time, I don't have to give chomesh for if I redeem it again. I want to redeem it again over another gold watch of 25. Yeah, diamonds, 25. That 20, I don't have to add 5 anymore because it's the second time 20 appears in the scene. But the 5, maybe yes, maybe no. The 5, I may have to add 1 1/4, may not have to add 1 1/4. But there's a good, but don't tell me it's second time, because for the chomesh, it's the first time. It's the first time chomesh appears in the scene. Mimela, it's a very, very valid question. Thank you for being patient, because we just have to finish the maskona, and then I'll hear you. My haviolo. Well, so we're really debating here. The space remains empty, the hekdesh space, right, in your charts. I left it empty on purpose so you can fill it. The hekdesh space is, we don't know whether you add an extra chomesh on the second chomesh or no. My haviolo. What did they say about it in the Talmudic times? Quoting Abaye says, Yosef Chamishis Kesef Erkecho. Chamishis Kesef, a fifth of the money of the value, meaning it's a hekesh. Hekesh is called in our Scrollies juxtaposition. Makish, we juxtapose. Chumoshoy lekesef erkoi. The chomesh is compared to the kesef. Ma kesef erkoi moisif chomesh. Just like the kesef, you add a chomesh the first time, and from the 20 watts, you now boom have 25. Af kesef chumoshoy nami moisif chomesh. Now, when I have 25, when I redeem it again, how much will I have to give? Anybody, Rabbi? How much do you have to give? I'll have to give 26 1/4. Feels so good. It feels as if I know the math over here. Why? Why do I have to give 26 1/4? Because the 20, it's a second appearance, the second coming. That's from a different religion, yeah? That's 20. The 20 is what is no chomesh the second time. But for the chomesh, that's chomesh's first time, it's his first appearance on the stage, and we're masik that you do have to add chomesh, which is a quarter on that. So on the 5th, you have to add a quarter, and that at the all in all will be now you'll have to give 26 1/4. Ze alohe. That's the maskone, and we have very quick time for questions now. Yeah, we're not going to North Korea, but yeah, is Cuba? Cuba is also a place where you can talk. No, yet. We're holding in Gufa, by the way, and I'm listening to your questions. 10:25, I'll be a nicer person. I hope. I'll be back to being a human being, not a wolf. That's a 10:25. Weiter. Okay. Gufa. Gufa. What's Gufa? That's goofy. Gufa means that now we're talking about something that was marginal, now becomes central, like the chomesh. Omar Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi. Al hekdesh rishon moisif chomesh. Over first hekdesh, you add chomesh. Your watch of 20 will now have to be redeemed for whatever 25. Al hekdesh sheni and moisif chomesh. If you want to take now the second watch of 25 and redeem that, you don't have to add chomesh to the 25. You may have to add chomesh for the chomesh, but not for the keren. Yeah, so you're not giving whatever another 30, 1 1/4. You give 26 1/4. These are the numbers. That sounds very interesting. What's his reason? What's his source? How do we know that? It says if the makdish, what's a makdish? A person who dedicates, who donates to Beis HaMikdash, if he gives his house, he has to give a chomesh again. Now, hamakdish v'lo hamatpis. I told you, makdish is the first time hekdesh. Matpis is the second time hekdesh. If you want to redeem the second one, that's called matpis, and he's not included. There's no chomesh over there. So why is there on the chomesh? Because chomesh is the first time, right? Not second. Tani Tana Kabedu Abilozo. Here comes the Tana who taught something to Abilozo on the same venue. We're still talking here, by the way, about hekdesh second time, yes or no chomesh. Look at the following story. No gold watches, but a behemoth meya. What happens if somebody donates? I shouldn't say chazir, it's really not nice. Let's say you're not allowed to have a chazir in your house. Let's say somebody donates a donkey to Beis HaMikdash. So last time I checked, donkeys cannot really be brought on the altar, right? So what do you think Hekdesh will do with a chamor? Ride it? No. What? Sell, redeem, and then buy new paint to have nice new paint fresh for Beis HaMikdash, or spachtel, spritz, whatever they want to do. Very nice. Says the Bible, if a person donates dedicated behema tmeya, yeah, then you have to be poide be'erkecho, whatever that means. What is Mepoda Be'erkecha? You have to redeem it for the value. Okay, so what are we telling me? Well, what's the Gemara telling me here? Says the Gemara Drosha. We are here. Says the Gemara, the Drosha, Ma Beim, the Bryce actually. Ma Beim Atmeya Meyuchedes. Why did the Gemara choose, excuse me, why did the Torah choose, when he wants to talk about redeeming, and soon we'll see talks about chomesh, that we'll see later, why did we choose a Beim Atmeya? Yeah, if this was a nice, frum English art scroll book, of course it wouldn't give the example of a chamor, of a Beim Atmeya. That's not Jewish politically correct. Why is the Torah choosing to talk about Beim Atmeya? Davka, you know why? Ma Beim Atmeya miyuchedes, it has certain qualities, shetchiloso hekdesh, which means Beim Atmeya is a first-time hekdesh and not a second-time hekdesh. It's hekdesh and not hatposo. It's the first time I was makdish the chamor to the Beis HaMikdash, and the kula l'shamayim. The Beim Atmeya goes all the shamayim, as opposed to Beim Tehoira. You understand why? Why? The Beim Tehoira really, it means to tell me, as we'll see later, most of korbanos, if I makdish a kosher animal to Beis HaMikdash, automatically it goes to the mizbech, not for the money. That's, by the way, the halacha. So if I makdish Besi the cow or Lucy the sheep or the other way, the Beis HaMikdash, to go to the mizbech, does Hashem get all of it, all the parts, except for oila? No. In most korbanos, funnily enough, ironically enough, Beim Torah is eaten partially by the kohanim, and in all of kochim kalim, most of kochim kalim, except for Meiser, except for Bechor, it's eaten by who? It's eaten by the Israelim. Beim Tmeya, if the donkey is worth 5,000 shekels, all 5,000 shekels will be used for the paint of Beis HaMikdash, or for washing the floors, or for the new light bulbs of Beis HaMikdash. So ironically, Beim Tmeya is an example for something that goes completely to Shemaim, as opposed to Beim Torah, which is higher, but goes partially to Bnei Adam. Irony of life. V'moyalin bo, and Me'ila applies to it. Here you have Me'ila. So too, meaning, what's Me'ila? If I go and I ride on this donkey, I'm chayiv meila. I have to pay chomesh. I have to pay. It's also, yeah. I've called it. So too, the Beim Atmeya represents all other items in the world. Kol shetchiloso hekdesh. All other items that was the first time hekdesh and not second time. The kula l'shamayim, which means any item. If I makdish the phone to Beis HaMikdash, the kind are not going to use it while they work. You know, they don't do that in Beis HaMikdash. They'll sell the phone and use the money. Any whole item goes completely to Shamayim money-wise, and Me'ila applies to it. Now, that's very, very difficult. What are you coming to tell me? You're coming to tell me the Me'ila only applies to those things? Yeah, is that the punchline? Just like Me'ila means you're not allowed to embezzle, not allowed to enjoy. So, too, all other items that are like Beim Atmeya, you can't be moyel, you can't be nehene, can't derive benefit from them. Frank Gemara, what? That's a limitation. Blazer told the Tana, which is really the Amoira who taught him the Brisa. Let's dissect what you say. Let's get things clear over here. He's telling the Talmud who's teaching him a Brisa. If you want to tell me to exclude Kula L'Shamayim, kochim kalim. Oh, which means I could accept what you say on one point, and that is kochim kalim. They are the ones who the Israel eats part of it, and also the female kohanos, the women of the kohanim. It's much more broadly eaten outside in Yerushalayim. Then I can hear came in the Islahu Lebailim Begavayim, because the owner has part of it in the korban, and always will be. When I makdish an animal for shlomim, for toida, for meiser, for things, I remain part. Part of it is retained by me, all the way till after the korban, the highest place in Beis HaMikdash. I'll eventually eat it in a restaurant in Yerushalayim with my family, as long as we're Kodesh. Therefore, I could hear what you're saying, Leis Bu Me'ila. I can understand, Be'em Tmeya comes to exclude that. Beseder, maybe. Ela Tchilas Hekdesh, but you're coming to tell me, Tchilas Hekdesh? You're coming to tell me that only an item that's the first time Hekdesh, L'mi'uti Mai, what are you coming to exclude here? The Tchilas Hekdesh or the Isbe Me'ila, Soif Hekdesh, Leis Be Me'ila? Are you serious? Are you telling me that only a first-time hekdesh item has me'ila? But let's say I took not the gold watch Chalila, I took the tome animal, the chamor, and I switched it for what? For kangaroo, for a cat. Yeah, you want to tell me that what the cat is no me'ila? Mapitam, that's shtuyot. You can't say the Me'ila only applies to. You can't say Me'ila only applies to first time hekdesh, not to second time hekdesh hetbis. The hekdesh is just the same. The kedusha was transferred from one item to the other. Now, who cares? It's second time. Mapitom second time hekdesh is no Me'ila. I'm allowed to go and use it whichever way I want. Mapitom. Dil malinian chomesh ka'omar. Must be. You misunderstood the brayta you're quoting. Must be. Maybe Dilma. Probably for chomesh you're telling me. Ukabeshuben Levi. You probably meant to say what? You missed the word here. Chomesh. Very good. As we said. Ukabeshuben Levi. So the first time a gold watch was redeemed, there's chomesh. Second time my second gold watch was redeemed, 25. The second one, then we say there is no chomesh. And that is Xeris HaKosev. That makes sense. Of course, Mila applies. You say there's no Mila is Hefkerveld. Half the items in Beis HaMikdash were second hand. Second, there's no Mila, Chas Shalom. Elamai, chomesh, that I can accept. To say that there's no chomesh added to the second hekdesh without pasa, that goes well with me. And the beautiful punchline, Omer Le, he told him, in, yes, hachika amina. That's what I meant to say all along. And Rashi explains the word me'ila is what's the word in English is like confused. No, is instead of in lieu of chomesh, synonymous, so to speak. Yeah, right, with chomesh. When he wanted to say chomesh, he said me'ila. Rashi explains why, whatever, but that's it. Zeder, Baruch Hashem. Yeah, now we can talk about anything you want. Questions from the Gemara, issues of life and death. So no, he was waiting nicely. Have a great day, everybody. May we hear of great simchas very soon. Mashiach coming soon.